Welcome. Okay, we're going to go over a third grade math lesson that is found in Module 1, Lesson 14. And today's objective is that we're going to skip count objects in models to build fluency with multiplication facts using units of 4. Now, what have you learned recently, especially third grade? What have you learned in the last few lessons? What have y'all learned?
The different ways of multiplication.
The different ways of multiplication. And as we look at this, we see that we are going to be skip what?
Counting.
Skip counting. Can y'all tell me when y'all start skip counting? Since you're what? Yeah, some pre-K, kinder, right? Okay, here we're going to be skip counting objects because we are going to be multiplying by the units of 4 today. Okay, we're going to keep it plain and simple. We're only going to go up to 4 units of 4. Okay, now the reason why this is important is because it's going to build on your future lessons on multiplication and division. You've already been seeing that multiplication and division. What we're going to do is that now you're going to understand more of that distributive property. So for today's lesson, we're going to go over our fluency practice, our application problem, our concept development, and our student debrief. But today, in order to get your brains fired up, I have set on here a little sprint for you. Boys and girls, this would be found in your practice workbook if you had a practice workbook. Today, we're going to pretend that this is our practice workbook. So within your table, everybody get one, and please have it face down. Okay? This is a multiplication sprint, okay? I'm going to give you only 60 seconds just to answer as many as you can in that first column. After 60 seconds, I want you to circle where you stopped and we will move forward from there. Are we ready? Okay. Turn it over and begin. You have 60 seconds. If you finish that first column, move on. 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. Time's up. Okay, circle that last. Everybody circle the last problem. Pencils down, pencils down. Okay, I'm just going to go quickly over. So this is a fluency sprint. Your teacher edition says that this should take roughly 9 minutes. 60 seconds is where you get their brains warmed up. You're going to start going over some of the answers, okay? How many of y'all were able to finish the first set? Okay. Oh, good. Everybody did. How many of y'all were able to finish the second column? Okay, we got 2 people. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm just going to shout out answers. If you got it correct, you say yes. If you do not have it correct, then you just simply circle it. Okay? If it's correct, you're going to yell out what? Yes. If it's incorrect, you're going to what? Circle. So here we go. Number 1. 6. 9. 12. 15. 3. 2. 3. 5. 3. 4. 18. 21. 24. 27. 30. 8. 7. 9. 6. 10. 5. 4. Okay, if you got all 22 correct, please raise your hand. Okay, good job. Okay, let's look at the second column. You have 10, 2, 3, 10, 5, 3, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 8, 7, 9, 6, 8, 33, 11, 36, 12, 39, I had to do it in my head, and 19, 13, sorry, 13. Okay, here we go. My eyes, I'm starting to do this more. Okay, how many of y'all got that whole section of 22 correct? Raise your hand. We have got the whole section of 22 correct. That section, okay? So now we're going to add on to it. How many of y'all got the first column 22 plus Up to 32 correct. Right here. How many of y'all got 10 more correct on that column? Raise your hand. Oh, not everybody. Okay? So this is the activity that you would be working with the kids. Okay? You would be working with them. This is sprint A. Okay? There is sprint B as well, but I want you to keep in mind that I gave the students those 60 seconds to go ahead and solve. I went over it. Here you would keep asking, okay, how many of y'all got so many correct? Raise your hand. And you'll notice little by little, more and more hands, or just get them standing. Stand up if you got all 22 correct, okay? And you'll notice that as you keep going on through the problems, you're going to have less and less hands up or less and less students up. This now tells you that you need to continue building on their what? Yes, on their fluency, okay? So that is how a sprint works. That is 9 minutes of your time, okay? So this is you giving them a chance, you giving them, and you could have stopped after the 22, and you could have said, how many of them got it 22? Oh, me. You could have gone over this column. Then you could have said, okay, 60 seconds again. How many of y'all can continue? Okay? Everything comes back from lesson 2, and they give you the instructions on how to utilize the sprint. If you're unsure, you go back to lesson 2 and you can look at it. Okay? Any questions? Okay? So I'm going to move on now. I'm still in fluency. Fluency for this lesson is 12 minutes. Okay? I have a second part of fluency. So what I've put on your desk are sheet protectors with a template. We're not going to use the template, but get your sheet protector and flip it over to your personal dry erase board. Okay, go ahead and flip it over. Now on this dry erase board, we're going to build our fluency with multiplication using units of 3. Today we're working on units of 4, Miss. Yes. So I am scaffolding. We're going to spiral in what we've already learned from previous lessons, particularly lesson 2, boys and girls. We're going to go through units of 3. So for this example, we're going to count forward and we're going to count backwards, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to create a strip diagram. Now, throughout this whole lesson, we have been using strip diagrams through this whole module. Yes, boys and girls? Yes, have you all seen the strip diagram? They're a little different than the way we normally have seen them. Okay, so go ahead and let's go through it. So here it says, I'm going to show you a strip. So I'm going to show you a strip diagram. Okay, in this strip diagram, I'm going to partition it. I'm going to go a little darker. Here we go. This is my strip diagram. Okay, I'm going to partition it into 5 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I would like for all of y'all to create your strip diagram with 5 equal parts. Now in these 5 equal parts, I want to tell you that I'm going to draw 2 little circles in my first partition. I'm going to draw 2 little circles in my first partition. Now, looking at this, how many units did I partition today? How many did I partition today? 5. So here I have, and y'all been seeing this a lot, it's like the brackets. Have y'all been seeing this and your students are asking like, what is this? Okay, these brackets have been introduced into the curriculum. So I have 5 units here. I have 5 units here. How many did I put in the first partition? How many dots? 2. So can anybody tell me what I'm going to skip count right now by? 2s. Okay, so I want all of y'all to go ahead and find me how many units are there all together. Go ahead and solve it right now on your personal whiteboard. Go ahead and find out how many total dots do I have. Oh, I see 2 different ways being shown here. Oh, I see a third, a different way. I see some of y'all trying to find the total. I see someone using repeated addition. Okay. I see someone adding up all their counts. Okay. Here we go. Now, I'm going to show you two different ways that I see here, okay? I see two different ways here at this table. Now, Miss Monica, can you share with us how you solved yours?
On here on this one?
Yes.
Okay, so I added 2 more on each one. And then I skip counted by 2s. So I put 4 on top, and 6, 8, and 10. And that is how I got my.
So do you all see how she went and she skip counted by 2s? And she put her numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay? Raise your hand if you did it the same way. Okay? Now let's see. I see a different way that was shown here. Okay? I'm going to pass it here to Ms. Osuna. She did it a different way, and it's not incorrect either. This allows you to see the different ways that your students are seeing it. Okay? So she went above and beyond. She showed GT. There's nothing wrong with that. She showed the repeated addition, and then she showed the multiplication sentence. Is she wrong? No. Can you all see the difference in their work? Yeah. See how one automatically started with their skip counting by 2s? Now, why do you think she might have done it repeated addition? Okay, but maybe 3rd grade can answer it, because what did you all start with? Repeated addition. And this is a 3rd grade lesson. So let's say, and y'all said, okay, it's because she once taught 3rd grade, right? But, and you teachers are the 3rd grade teachers, and you all said, okay, because why? We had started off with our beginning lessons 1 through 5 with repeated addition. So notice, we're now on lesson 14. Do you see that connection that's being made? Your fluency spirals in, okay? It spirals in previous lessons. So your kids have not forgotten, and maybe Monica saw it and she's like, oh yeah, I could have just done repeated addition, but she's like, I'm just skip counting. Was she wrong? No, she wasn't, okay? So that should have been real quick, and that was just a way. And if you ever notice on the lesson, it'll say repeat the process, and it'll give you a different problem to work with. If time permits, please keep in mind that Eureka is a timed based, right? A curriculum. We had extra time because we didn't spend the whole 9 minutes on the fluency, because you all are my GT group, right? And eventually the kids are going to get so caught up in it, and it's going to come easily to them if they keep practicing that fluency. This was supposed to take 3 minutes. You give them a minute to go ahead and figure it out. Then you have the next 2 minutes to kind of review. If time permits within those 3 minutes, I could move on to the next problem, okay? Thank you all. Could you please clean off your dry erase boards? Okay, so now we just finished our fluency part of Eureka. That was all Eureka that was found in the students' practice books. Next, we have the application problem. Now, the application problem is found in their Learn book. We did also include it into our Google Slides for you guys. This is the exact same problem that you would see in the Learn. If you flip your page, there is a part B of the sprint, and then the 3rd page would be your application problem. Here's my opportunity that, remember, the application problem also is based off of what you've already learned. It's what you learned already. So this should not be new to the kids, but you do want to give them that productive struggle, okay? And when I look at my application problem, it says I have 5 minutes. We need to read, draw, write. I'm going to read, then I'm going to ask you all to read. Here we go. Jackie buys 21 pizzas for a party. She places 3 pizzas on each table. How many tables are there? Okay, everyone, Coral, ready? Go.
Jackie buys 21 pizzas for a party. She places 3 pizzas on each table. How many tables are there?
Okay, so now your 5 minutes have started. So here you want to tell yourself, how much time am I going to go over it with them? And how much time are they going to have that productive struggle? We don't want to be those teachers to constantly just jump in and just go over the problem. Right now, we might be where we're gradually releasing them, and that's okay, but we want to make sure it's a gradual release. We don't want to be guiding them through this forever, okay? I agree with the gradual release, but remember, they've already seen how to solve this, okay? So using what we've just learned, and exactly what we've learned in the last few lessons, and what we just did in our sprints, and in our fluency, I would like for you all to solve this using the strip diagram, okay? So go ahead, you can solve it on here, you can work it out on your personal dry erase board, but go ahead and please solve it on your application problem, and I'm gonna ask for someone to go ahead and show me what they did. Yeah, 2 minutes. Oh, I love the brackets. Good job, Ms. Vargas. And you know, this is building on, we're gonna get into the arrays right now?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And it's getting used to that. So
You have to, like,
Right.
me as an adult, I'm used that way.
if you need to draw it, you can draw it so that you can understand how your strip diagram is going to work. So
Okay.
do it how you would solve
And
it.
then-
Yes, and then you can make the connection to your. Okay, guys, wrap it up. Give you 10 seconds to finish what you're finishing. And I'm going to go ahead and call on someone. As I walked around, I saw great things happening. I saw your strip diagram. I saw some people who needed that extra help, drew their array to better understand their strip diagram. Okay, you have 5 minutes. So remember, we're trying to keep within that time frame. So I'm only giving a certain amount of time for the productive struggle to happen before I go ahead and I start asking for volunteers. Because some students, you will notice, will just sit there and wait for the answer to be done. We don't want that. Make sure you're in the power zone. Make sure that they're using their dry erase, their dry personal boards, and so on and so forth. If they need those manipulatives, pull them out. Pull them out. Okay, here we go. So looking at this application problem, my Apple Pencil, I'm going to go ahead and allow Ms. Vargas to go ahead and show us how she solved it. Go ahead and write there. And you can kind of explain how you're reasoning.
I did my diagram. I divided it because I started going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I know I needed more. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I got my 21 total pizzas. I did that. I did 21 pizzas. 3 in each. I put each here to remind me. Sorry, it's so messy. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables with 3 pizzas each.
Good job.
Just put there.
It wouldn't pick it up, but it's fine. Okay, so notice her way of thinking was like, okay, I'm gonna be counting, right? 1, 2, 3. She knows that there are 3 pizzas in each table. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 for them. 4, 5, 6, another 3. 7, 8, 9, another 3. And her process of thinking, was she able to complete the strip diagram? Yes. Did she find out how many tables were needed? Yes. How many of you all, by a show of hands, got your 7 tables that were needed? Good job. Now, if I look at this, if I wanted to write I wanted to go above and beyond. If I wanted to write the multiplication sentence for this, how would that look? Who would like to show me how that would look? The multiplication sentence. 7 times 3 equals 21. Okay? And if she would have thought, I went to somebody, I don't remember who I saw, repeated addition. That person went, again, they did their repeated addition. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. Okay? They were able to get the answers. This should be quick. We should be able to do this within 5 minutes. Okay? Here we go. Let's move on. So for today's lesson, we went over that we're going to be skip counting in modules to build fluency for multiplication facts using units of 4. Now, the TEKs that apply to this lesson are 3.4e, where we're representing multiplication facts by using a variety of approaches such as repeated addition, which we saw that from some of the students, right? Unequal size groups, arrays. Today, boys and girls, we're going to be working with arrays, okay? And not only that, area models, equal jumps on the number line, and skip counting. Were we skip counting right now? Were we already building into our lesson? Yes, we were. So here we go. For my language objective today, I will use manipulatives to learn and review multiplication facts. The manipulative I'm using today is going to be your template and your dry erase boards as we will be drawing, okay? As we have learned all week and last week, our vocabulary has not changed. We're still looking at the same vocabulary. If this is a new lesson and the vocabulary changes, it is available for you to go ahead and make sure you're putting it in their journals. Product, multiply, factor, commutative property of multiplication has not changed. And of course, right now we are skip counting and using strip diagrams. Notice, I hope you all have these up in your classroom, which most of you all have. This is what we've been learning in 3rd grade for the last several lessons. It hasn't changed, okay? I know at one point at the end we got into division and your vocabulary could have changed, and this ended up coming back, okay? Now for today, I have an anchor chart. This is a very similar anchor chart that I've been using since my beginning lessons. These are my multiplication strategies, okay? I provided the same one for you here. Today, we're going to look at an array. We're looking at that multiplication sentence, and we're looking at tape diagram with your brackets and skip counting, okay? Today, I also saw some of y'all in your fluency and application problem using that repeated addition. Are these all the ways and different strategies that I could use when I'm multiplying? Yes, boys and girls, but today we're only targeting a few, okay? Normally, our Google Slides do provide videos for you, and on this video, it would show you a video of them skip counting by 4s and showing you the units of 4 of multiplying. It did work earlier. I'm not going to show you the video because it is about a 4-minute video. And I'm not going to go through the lesson right now, but on your time, you should be showing the what? The video, okay? We always try to target the videos that match the way Eureka is. If we cannot find something that matches it, we normally exclude it. Same thing for the anchor charts. But today it would have been a video of multiples of 4 because today we're skip counting by what, boys and girls? 4, okay? Okay. So for today's problem, notice this is Eureka, okay? We're going to look at Eureka. So on your personal dry erase board, flip it over, and we're looking at an array template, okay? Where could I find this? It was in my Learn workbook at the end of the exit ticket, okay? So here, I've created, or not I, Eureka has created this array for you, okay? So now we've been learning that we're skip counting by what, boys and girls? By 4s. What do you all see here? 4 circles. So that means I know I'm not going to be counting by 5s. I'm not going to be counting by 2s, but I'm counting by what? 4s. Okay, so with this template, we are going to skip count by 4s using this array to multiply. Now, you students, I want you to start with this, and we're going to count to 40 using the array. Now, this is how I want you to do it. I want you to hum the number as you count, and you're going to point to each dot. And for the last dot in each row, you're going to say the number out loud and write it next to the row. For example, I would say, 4, 8. Go ahead, and I would like for you to continue. Go ahead. Okay, once you're done, markers down, so I know you're done. Everybody's markers down. Now, boys and girls, we just established we were counting by what? By 4s. So who would like to help me and answer this? Here we go, miss. Go ahead. And go ahead and finish writing it out for me. It will not pick up your hand, so if you lean on it, you're fine. Yes.
6.
Okay, did everybody get to 40 like what is listed up here? Did everybody get to 40? I love it. It was your humming, right? So maybe the humming helps because some students, and you notice that some students are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that humming, it keeps them, and then they're hearing only the part that they're skip counting by fours. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you guys that each of these arrays, these rows represent a multiplication expression. Okay, so now I'm going to give you an expression and I want you to go ahead and find it with your finger pointing to it. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? I need you to find me 4 times 4. Okay, good job. Point to it.
Oh.
Oh, good job. 4 times 4 is what, boys and girls? 16. Good job. Let's try one more. Here we go. 9 times 4. 9 times 4. Now, this time, I would like for you to write the expression next to it. 9 times 4. Okay, Miss Alma, 9 times 4 was what? 36. Is Miss Alma correct? Yes, good job. So she should have written 9 times 4, 36. Okay, you ready? Now I'm going to tell you the equation, which means I'm going to give you the answer, boys and girls. And I want you to tell me what the expression is. So you're going to put it right next to it. Okay, here we go. Here it is. 20. Go ahead and write the multiplication expression next to 20. Good job. And what is the multiplication expression for 20?
4 times 5.
4 times 5. Good job. Okay? So now what I would like for you all to do is we're going to make it just a little bit harder now. Okay? For your purpose of learning your multiples of 4, I'm going to give you 1 minute to quickly go ahead and write the multiplication expression next to each one. You can write it at the end. If you want to not confuse yourself, you can do it like this. So you can keep track of which row you're actually in. Go ahead and continue. You can put it on the side, you can put it on the circles, it's your preference. So keep in mind that this concept development was 30 minutes. 20 minutes are for the concept and teaching, 10 minutes are your problem set. If it was 34 minutes, it would be 24 minutes concept, 10 minutes your problem set. Your problem set's always going to be 10 minutes. And as you have pre-planned, you should have already gone and seen which are your should do's, could do's, and your challenging questions based on the needs of your students. Normally, you want to challenge those students who are a little bit of higher thinking. You should give them a little bit more. But other than that, that should have been part of your pre-plan, okay? Did everybody finish? Great. Now this is going to be your tool. This tool is going to help you. So turn it over now to the blank side of your personal dry erase board. And now for this one, I'm going to draw a strip diagram that represents the number of groups shown on the array model. So here we go. I'm going to draw a strip diagram and I'm going to partition it. Okay? Now in this, I would like for all of y'all to draw this rectangle and partition it into 10 units. Now, I have here, how many groups do I have? 10 groups. Now, if you look back at your array, how many groups did you have? 10 groups. Okay? How many were in each group? 4. So here, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my strip diagram that matches my array. Yes. You see, I love it, the way she just made the connection.
Is it on a row, vertical, horizontal? Here.
And you know, there was a song,
Vertical is standing. Vertical is standing. Yeah, that's the one I sang them.
There was the other one that
bed,
horizontal. My bed, I'm horizontal.
I'm
Standing on my head, I'm vertical instead. When I'm laying on my bed, I'm horizontal.
That's what the way I would teach my kinder students.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, see, there's little tricks and I mean, little songs, and it sticks with them.
It's bothering me.
Now we're looking at it. How many did I have total? 40. So your strip diagram should have kept looking like this. 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. How many of you all did your skip counting on top? Okay, right, the answer's on top, okay? 8, 12, 16, 24, I can't even see.
No, 20.
No, it's, here we go. I can't even see. 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40, okay? So now you should have been able to tell me, what is the multiplication sentence being used here? 4 times 10 equals what? 40. I have 10 groups. I have 4 times 10. Okay? Here you have now showed them the array. They used that template. Now, did you hold them responsible to model it? Yes, you did. So now you have shown them a different way of seeing it. They used what was already given to them, and now they're able to model for you. That is what problem 2 is about. Now, if you still have extra time, you are going to continue modeling. You're going to do another problem. There are more problems for you to repeat. Another one, it tells you, repeat the process, do 7 times 4. Okay? And again, you know, that they brought this up to me and I did it again. It should have been 10 times 4. It's like an old habit that I have. 10 times 4. There's 10 groups and there's 4 in each group. Okay? And we just had this discussion and I still wrote it the same way. It should be 10 times 4. Okay? Right. Thank you. I love it. He's like going back to my vocabulary. You know, do you still get the same answer?
Yes.
Yes, you do. But on our array, it should have been following each row and so on and so forth. Okay, so notice we're going to continue doing this. If I give you another problem, we would be moving on. Okay, remember, 20 minutes are your problem, are your concept development, 10 minutes are your problem sets. For time purposes, I would continue with you because guess what? I still have what? Time. Okay, but I'm not going to go over it. We would continue doing it, but I want you to understand your best friend is a timer. Make sure you use those timers, the you can get one online. You have your phone and so on and so forth. Some people actually have timers on their board. So use that tool because you can continue. The kids need more practice. You keep on. The next problem they told me to do is 7 times 4. You know what? Let's do at least one. 7 times 4 is your next one, just so that you can have the one more practice. And it tells you 7 times 4. Go ahead and use it on your dry erase board. And please create your strip diagram using 7 times 4.
What? Sounds better than because we're saying that you did an array.
Right.
It'll be 4 times 2.
If you're just looking at the dots, the array.
Right. So here you have how many groups? And how many are in each group?
And since we're going over the 4s, remember that you're...
Right. And the array would have been like that.
Yes.
Which is why you can go back and you show them that changing the order of factors does not change the product. So I'm going to pass this on, and this is a perfect opportunity. If you notice in your script, they'll say, turn and talk to your neighbor, discuss what you all got. This is a perfect SIF strategy to work and check your partner's work to see how they solved it, and so on and so forth. So right now, please turn and talk to your partner and see if you all came up with the same solution. I know that it was brought to my attention asking about the get also, okay? So on the application problem, and if this was a word problem, we could, because I told you, and we just went over that there were 7 what? Groups, 7 groups. And if you remember the get, and there would be, let's just say there's 7 vases. And then let's just say that each vase has a rose, right? 4 roses. Well, how many total roses would I have? You would have what? 28, right? With your strip diagram, 6. How many were in each? 4 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I know that there are 7 groups. There's 4 in each group. And if I continue skip counting, skip count with me. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. How many total roses did I end up having? 28. And my multiplication equation would look like. Okay. How many of y'all got 28? All of y'all. Good job. Okay. If I still had time, could I continue with another problem? Yes, you can. But for time purposes, we're going to move on to our problem set. So open up your Learn workbooks, boys and girls, and let's look at the problem sets. You know, before we move on there, put your book face down real quick. Let's get some practice in before we move on. Okay? We included the procedurals for you guys so that you could have that practice with your students. Okay? Remember, the curriculum is 60 minutes. Bilingual has the 75, English has 90. So you kind of have that wiggle room. If it took you an extra 2 minutes on a certain, fluency or application problem, you utilize that time. But here we've included an I do, a we do, and a you do. They mimic what we just did in the concept development. So like before you move to that problem set, you could give these procedural problems. They don't have that in Eureka, okay? So we can give these procedural ones, and as a teacher, I have the I do, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to explain. And it says, skip count objects in models to build fluency with multiplication. It says, skip count by force to match the appropriate expression. Could I use what I just did in my array to help me? Yes, I can. Could I draw a strip diagram on the other side to help me solve? Yes, I can. Okay, so for here, I could look at my array and I could see which one would give me 4. Which one? A, B, or C? Let's just go A, B, or C. Which one? C. So here, I would simply mark. Then I would look here. Which one would give me 8? 4 times 2. Could I be using what I just worked with the kids? Did they work hard on this? Can they use it? Yes, they can. Okay. The next one, the only one available would be what? Which one would be 12, the product 12? 4 times 3. Now I just did it as an I do. We just went over it. Looking here at my array, can this help me? Yes, it can. Okay. Then you have the we do's. And these shouldn't be taking forever either. I noticed I modeled quickly the I do's. I did it, but I used your assistance in using your array model template. So here's another we do. It says skip count objects and models to build fluency multiplication. Ms. Cantu replaces 4 flowers each in 8 vases. How many flowers does she replace all together? Notice that word altogether, and I noticed that Eureka uses that word altogether. And our mindset, when you hear altogether, you're so used to hearing and doing what operation? Addition. Okay? Am I adding here? No. What am I doing? Multiplication. Yes, multiplying. But it's repeated addition. Yes, repeated addition leads to what? Multiplication. So I just want you to be aware that we did include the word altogether because it is used throughout the problem set. Okay? So here they want us to draw a strip diagram and to solve. Okay? So on that white erase board side, go ahead and let's create a strip diagram together because we're doing this together. Now, how many would I use? 8. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 8. Okay, great. We now have 8. I have 8 what? Vases. How many are in each vase? 4 flowers. She's replacing 4 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got to replace all these flowers. I wonder what Mrs. Cantu did. Did she not water her flowers? Okay. So here, they're telling me, did I draw my strip diagram? Yes. Am I done labeling it? Almost. What do I need to put up here? 4 what? 4 flowers. So I know I'm going to skip count on top with my 4 flowers. So go ahead and continue skip counting. And I want to see if we're going to end up getting the same answer. Good job. Okay, all together, I've noticed we've written our problems. And all together, let's go ahead and skip count. I started with 4. What would be my next number? 8. Next. 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 Did she replace 32 flowers? How many of y'all got 32? Good job, boys and girls. We drew our strip diagram. We learned that out of those 8 vases, 4 flowers in each, Miss Cantu replaced 4 flowers. Did you see how fast that went? No more than 2 minutes, guys. It shouldn't take that long. 2 minutes. Okay, the last one is a you do. So go ahead and erase your strip diagram. And go ahead, Monica, read this problem 3 for us.
Find the total number of sides on the square.
Prior knowledge, a square. It has to have how many sides? Oh, miss, we're skip counting by 4 already. Right, and a square has 4 sides. Go ahead and draw exactly how we've been doing it with our strip diagram, label, and solve the total number of sides on 6 squares. We've been building on this lesson, the concept development. Now we're doing the I do, we do's, you do's. You're building that confidence in the students that right now when we get to the problem set, this should come easy to them. We're allowing them to build. We're allowing them to skip count. And they should know right now we're only working with units of what? 4. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let someone go ahead and write this out. Ms. Loredo. Go ahead and solve it the way you just solved it.
Miss, so you're saying we're supposed to do this before we do the problem set?
Right, because you just built on the concept development. That's why I'm saying you shouldn't waste that much time on this. Right.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Can
Add
I
a timer.
the timer to the
Do not
Okay.
go over. The I do should have been quick minute, right? The we do maybe because you're getting feedback from the students, no more than 2 minutes, a minute, 2 minutes, like this. No, well now we're on the you do. Now, the you do maybe allow, I gave you time to reread it. We gave that minute for you to solve it. You know what I mean? The productive struggle that's going on with the students is like, how do I do it? How do I solve it? And then you volunteer someone to go ahead and solve it. Okay?
So you're saying we're supposed to do this before we do the problem set?
Right, because you just built on the concept development. That's why I'm saying you shouldn't waste that much time on this.
And you can add the timer to the slide.
Right.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Can
Add
I
a timer.
add the timer to the
Do not
Okay.
go over. The I do should have been quick minute, right? The we do maybe because you're getting feedback from the students, no more than 2 minutes, a minute, 2 minutes, like this. No, well now we're on the you do. Now, the you do maybe allow, I gave you time to reread it. We gave that minute for you to solve it. You know what I mean? The productive struggle that's going on with the students is like, how do I do it? How do I solve it? And then you volunteer someone to go ahead and solve it. Is it okay for a student to make a mistake? Yes. Did you notice that their group, her table group started telling her strip diagram was correct. The way she had solved it on her personal whiteboard was incorrect, but I guess her way of thinking, she ended up finding that she had initially did it correct for us. Okay? Good job. So how many sides would it have? 24. There are 24 sides on 6 squares. Now, for this is a 2016 release. Notice they gave a simple multiplication problem. 8 times 4. Miss, we're learning about the 4s. Yes, wow. What do you know? It came out on STAR in 2016. Now, Zachary lists some different methods he thinks he can use to solve the multiplication problem shown 8 times 4. Which of these is not a method that Zachary can use to get the correct answer? So we're looking for the not. This is something quick, short. Do not waste your time on teaching the whole, oh, he didn't get it. Well, let me go back and show you. This is something quick. You're exposing them to the way they're going to see it on STAR. Okay? So which one would not be a method Zachary can use? Well, then you look at this. Well, how many rows are in here in A? 4. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I got 4 rows. How many are in each row? 8. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Does that match my commutative property? Yeah, 4 times 8. Okay, I'm looking for the what? Not. Okay, let's look at the other one. Oh, miss. And somebody would probably say, miss, look, it's like repeated addition. But is it really repeated addition? What are they seeing here? Multiplication, right? 8 times 8. Okay, Miss, that's a lot of multiplication. I'm barely in 3rd grade. Okay. Maybe some of y'all might know what 8 times 8 is, and maybe you'll see this problem again later. First of all, what is 8 times 8, boys and girls? 64. Miss, I already went over the 32 circles that we already had for A. Could this possibly be my answer? Yes, right? Let's look at the other one. If I skip count, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and do I have my template right now with me? Is that correct? Yes. Miss, look, we're skip counting also here. It's a different way of seeing skip counting. 4, 8, 12. Miss, they match the same numbers. 16, 18, 20, 24, 28, 32. Is that correct, boys and girls? So which one was my not correct answer? B. Quick, simple, minute, no more than 2 minutes, move on. Okay, I'm done because then I would move on to my exit ticket, but I'm not on my exit ticket because I'm now going over the what with you all, the concept. Okay, the problem sets. So here we go. Open up your Learn workbooks, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and let's look at the concept the problem set that we're doing today. Now, this would have been your pre-planning. You would have chosen which ones apply because how many minutes do they have for problem set? 10. Ms. Loredo is the only one that responded. How much time do we have for problem set? 10 minutes. Okay, and if you know your students were struggling with the whole concept development, you better make sure that you knew which ones that they were going to be able to do. Now, this is easy, the first half, because if they still have their template, could it help them complete the first page? Yes. So we're going to go off that your students are able to complete the first page using their template. Go ahead and solve the first page. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Could I use a strategy that I used earlier today? 4. 8. 12. 3 minutes, just right now, just the first page. And you know what? It could be done before 3 minutes because they have their what with them? Their template. Because remember, I only have 10 minutes for the problem set. I want to utilize as much as I can for those challenging questions. I want to make sure I cover. The application problem is available for you. It's also there too. Okay? Stuff like that.
But we're gonna look
The concept. No, I'm going to introduce another part of it. Because you always.
10 minutes, right?
Right, yeah, 10 minutes. But you want to make sure you have word problems. You need to make sure that you're exposing the kids to the word problems. Those are you at least should have 1 to 2 word problems. Your challenge.
iPad. You have it on Good Notes. How are you writing on it?
It's on GoodNotes. I just uploaded the PDF to GoodNotes, and then I'm able to write on it. As I walk around, looks like everybody has completed. We're still on the first problem set. Okay, can you all go ahead and help me skip count? We started with 4. Go ahead and continue. 8, 12,
16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 36.
Miss, this matches our array that we have been doing. Yes, boys and girls, it does match. Okay, everything ties in. And notice, this first row, I should have found 1 times 4, which it was found here. The next one that has 8, which one would be 8? 2 times 4. Which one would be 12? 3 times 4. 16. 4 times 4. 20. 5 times 4. 24. 6 times 4. 28. 7 times 4. 32. 36. And 40. Miss, for myself, and I saw a student here, they went and they wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that they knew that they were making that connection to the correct one. They knew they were each had 4, and they were able to make that connection. So this was simple and easy, less than 10 minutes, so let's move on to our challenging one. I have word problems here, okay? I'm going to give you problem 2 and problem 4 for today, okay? We need to read it out loud. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to ask a volunteer to read it. It says, Mr. Schmidt replaces each of the 4 wheels on 7 cars. How many wheels does he replace? Draw and label a strip diagram to solve. Have we been doing strip diagrams? Yes. Yes. Okay. Go ahead and read out loud for us, Miss Perez, the number 2.
Mr. Schmidt replaces each of the 4 wheels on 7 cars. How many wheels does he replace? Draw and label a strip diagram to solve.
Okay, so go ahead and solve. Use your strip diagram to solve. As I see that we've wrapped it up on problem number 2, I see pencils are down. I would like for a volunteer to go ahead. Ms. Gonzalez, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Gonzalez. Please solve for us the way you would do this. Okay, Ms. Gonzalez is modeling for us how she solved it. I feel like after this, your students should have already, they've written the 4 so many times. Do you think that maybe when you're lining up for lunch or something, you could start quizzing them on their multiples of 4? Probably can, right?
What's that stand for?
The productive struggle, right? I need to get over there. I better solve it, right? Yeah, you can keep writing if you need space. There we go. Did everybody get 28?
Yes.
Yes. So Mr. Schmidt replaces 28 wheels. Now, notice I gave you number 4. Why do you think I gave you all number 4? Find the total of sides on 5 rectangles. Huh?
No, we did.
We just did one similar, but it wasn't rectangles. It was what? Squares. We just using different numbers. A rectangle also has how many sides? 4. Go ahead and solve. The kids already got this practice on the procedural, on the Google Slides. 30 seconds. Now, would your little ones need a little bit more than 30 seconds? Possibly, but remember, keep in mind, problem set's 10 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna let my volunteer here to solve. Here we go. Okay, go ahead and solve number 4 for us and finding the total number of sides on the rectangles. Go ahead and tell us.
5 rectangles.
Okay, good job.
And in each rectangle, there's 4 sides.
Great.
So we're going to 4 sides in skip count.
Notice her vocabulary. She's talking about skip counting.
So how many sides do we have? 20 sides.
Okay, go ahead and write that multiplication
Yeah, I'll write it
sentence.
over here. 5.
Awesome. Do y'all agree with her? Yes. Thumbs up. Thank you, miss. Okay, so this is your problem sets, right? And if I needed to, I could now go on to my exit ticket. Now, keep in mind, your exit ticket is part of your student debrief. So your student debrief, you need to talk first for 7 minutes with your group before you release the exit ticket. So here we go. What is my student debrief? My student debrief, I'm going to talk 7 minutes. No, I'm not going to talk 7 minutes, but you're going to get in with your partners and you are going to discuss the problem sets that you all have just completed. This is the best time for you to lead those questions. And if you're uncertain on those questions, Eureka does provide it for you. Okay, so this would be the time if you had those challenging students that needed that more work, like, Miss, I'm done, Miss, I'm done. Those are the kids that you would allow them to continue because you know that they can complete the problems. Let's say student number 1 here was able to finish all her questions because she's GT, and this student was not able to finish. Can you put them in a pair and have that discussion between them? Yes, you can. That's your student debrief. So you're going to be checking work by comparing answers with a partner. There's your SIF coming in. As the teacher's walking around, you can start asking, guys, like right now, I'm going to ask you guys, okay, boys and girls, when we looked at number 2, Mr. Schmidt, here we go, Mr. Schmidt's problem, did you all see a difference in the strip diagrams used? Oh, no, I didn't see a difference. No, I did. Okay, what did you see? Okay, what did you see maybe from problem 3 and how we solved problem 3? Because if you notice, this one's already giving you the sentence, right? So problem 3, they would have to read, draw, and write. Okay, so maybe they would notice something different about it. This is a discussion that your students are having. You're just probing the questions out there. And if you're uncertain on the questions to ask, Eureka has those probing questions for you guys. So that's roughly around 7 minutes, right? Then you have 3 minutes of your exit ticket. You're not going to waste the whole 3 minutes on them solving it. Give them 2 so that you can quickly go over it in the last minute. Now, if you go to 4 minutes, that's fine. So after looking at the problem sets, y'all have been in your groups and you've been discussing. Now I'm ready. Okay, my time's up. My timer says I've done enough probing of the questions. There's been enough partner talk. Now, boys and girls, let's go over to our exit ticket. Okay, it's in your Learn workbook. Okay, turn to the next page of your Learn workbook. Okay, I'm going to read the problem, then I'm going to have someone volunteer. Arthur has 4 boxes of chocolates. Each box has 6 chocolates inside. How many chocolates does Arthur have all together? Did I just see that word again? All together. Miss, I'm going to add. No, we're not adding. We just learned that all together could also mean what? Multiplication. Good job. You're going to draw and label a strip diagram to solve. I read. Now I'm going to volunteer Miss Loredo to please read the problem out loud for everybody.
Arthur has 4 boxes of chocolates. Each box has 6 chocolates inside. How many chocolates does Arthur have altogether? Draw and label a strip diagram to solve.
So you have a task to do, boys and girls. You need to make sure that you draw and label that strip diagram. What important information did we have here? 4 boxes of chocolate, 6 in each box. Okay? And the question asked for me to what? How many chocolates does Arthur have altogether? Okay, go ahead and solve using your strip diagram. This is also a time that you can go over the get as a strategy with them. I see the difference in here, and we're going back to this vocabulary. How they're going to see it differently, but we're still using units of 4. I see certain people doing it different, and it's not wrong either. It would have not been wrong. Exactly. It would not have been wrong.
Because I know they're going by the concept of 4.
Right, because your exit ticket is your challenging part. It's the same thing, right? You're like, okay, but it's starting with 6 now, right? But it's times 4. Have you already learned your times 4s already here? Yes, you've learned that unit today.
They just need to flip it around.
Right. Yes, you've just challenged them through this exit ticket. Here we go. As I wrap this up, this is the last thing that y'all are going over. They're saying an hour and 18 minutes already at, so we need to wrap it up, right? Okay? Again, you should be using your timers to help you through the lesson. I guided you on what you needed, so let's wrap it up with the last thing we have is our exit ticket, and we're done teaching math. Now, this you can pick up, and this is letting you know that if your students understood the concept, okay? Was it a challenging exit ticket? It was a little bit different. So it was a little bit challenging for them, okay? So all the concept development and everything you did and leading to your problem sets is going to determine if your students are successful on the exit ticket. Okay, I saw different ways of doing it. I saw 2 different ways. I love it. They stuck with the arrays of 4 and then they went on with the skip counting of 6. Okay, who would like to volunteer on how they did it? Thank you, Ms. Vargas.
Let me see if I can make it 9 this time.
Okay, you can lay your hand on it.
Okay, so I saw 4 boxes, those were my groups, so I put my 4 boxes. I know those were my groups. And then I saw that each box had 6 on them, so I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I used my skip, which I already had 6. And then 12, and then 18, and then 24. Whatever that is. And I had 24. Say,
I always say,
Arthur has.
Good
I'm
job.
done.
She put her answer. Okay, remember, the read, draw, write, make sure that they're answering them in a complete sentence.
You're supposed to put the number box.
She's not done.
Arthur has.
So with the bracket, is it 24 or 4?
It would be 4,
right?
but she put her total.
sorry, it was 4 groups, right?
Yes. You can either. Good job. Thank you, Ms. Vargas. You get a thumbs up. Okay. So here she says, okay, I saw it different. Now I had to skip count by 6, but she said, I just went back and I already knew 6 and then times 4 groups. She was like, well, that's how I got my answer. Do you see the way fact families work together and the way you can, what is it called, inverse the numbers? So it's helpful. It's helpful. It's helpful the way we already prepared them for this problem, and this is how you're going to know if they're successful in the lesson. Okay, like some of y'all said, I pick it up for a grade or so on and so forth. This allows you to check for understanding. Did they get everything I just taught in concept? Did they get everything I just did in the problem sets? Did we already build them up in Fluency? In application? Yes, we did. We did a bunch of strip diagrams. These kids have now become experts of strip diagram in this lesson.